Oh, that took a while. Hang on. Sorry, I just had to make sure some things were okay before I start. Big Lasai. Okay. $16 random, let's go. No, hang on. Los Santos? You're already making me feel like I'm missing GTA Online more than ever. Whoa. Too soon. Wow. Oh, excuse me. I saw that retro. I wonder if Peach has more than one castle. Uh-oh. Here comes the blue shell. Again. Yeah, take my pitiful coins, you bastard. I wonder if Mario Kart World still uses PNG, animated PNG for the audience. Or have they all turned into 3D models now? Aha! Oh, mama. Oh no, blue shell incoming. I had one shot and I took it. Oh wait, shoot, maybe I should have taken that and hit. Getting hit by a red shell, I'll take that over a blue. Hey, Ratchet, what's up? Oh no, blue shell again. Oh, you son of a... Nah, villager would have done it. Some folks have already given up on Mario Kart World, all because Nintendo made a oopsie daisy. You didn't tell me how to do a special episode for Zenless, eh? Special episode? You mean the Jane Doe special episode? No, I think I mentioned that before, but I just didn't remember when that special episode occurred. Because I thought it was like in between. I knew it was somewhere in between one of the episodes, but I don't remember which one it was. I was having a hard time trying to remember. But I definitely told you there was going to be some kind of episode with Jane Doe. Again, I just didn't remember if it was between 4 or 5, episode 3 or 4, or chapter 3 or 4. I don't know. I thought it was in the interlude, but no, not even close. So yeah, no, that was my bad then. Maybe I should have looked into it when you asked at the time. And I could have sworn, I think I even said, like, I could have sworn that it was what do you call it? I thought it was one of those agent stories. Yeah, no, because that's what I thought it was. I could have sworn the Jane Doe episode was like a agent story, like the standalone side stories that's focused on the individual characters. But yeah, no, it was an episode that takes place somewhere between, but I just don't remember. Again, I didn't remember when it happens in between. Heck, actually, there were times where whenever I look back on replaying some of the story missions just to play on, get the hard mode reward. Even as I was navigating, I didn't even remember when it happened. Like when did the episode even start? It is part of the main story somehow, but yeah, I even then I don't remember when it happens. Just finished the Jane story. Okay, I think after that, then you should be that point should be episode 5, chapter 5 now. Or no, it should be the chapter with section 6, the team section 6. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Because technically Jane Doe's faction is with the NEPS, the public security team. Oi. Oh yeah, speaking of agent stories, I hope you've been doing those too, because this, even though they are individual character stories, they still technically are. No, no, sorry, scratch that. They are not only sub stories, but you do get some extra polychromes for doing those. And every now and then, you also kind of play. You do get a chance to play as those characters, or practically even the main story. Even main story sections do give you a chance to play as characters that you either obtained or not. So yeah, if you're, whenever you get a chance, anytime, you can always do those agent stories. Well, you'll most likely do them anyways. And then when you finish those stories, you get to replay them on hard mode to get even more polychrome rewards. It may be 10 or 20, but hey, they're worth it. Plus, again, getting the chance to play as as the characters that you may or may not have, it's a nice way to get some insight. So that way, if it's a character from the permanent banner, and you're still kind of deciding, if you haven't gotten that 300 gotcha pull, where you get to freely choose one character. Yeah, the agent stories are there to provide some, again, insights on whether that character is worth pulling or not. Or not pulling, getting for free. Of course, down the road you will eventually just get all the... How many is it now? 6? 7? I think it's 7 now. 7 characters from the permanent banner. Could have sworn there might be another interlude chapter of some sort between chapter 5, because what I do know for sure, chapter 5 is in 2 parts. Part A and then part B. New character Chu Fufu has a story event. Yeah, that. Would it be spoilers? Maybe? I haven't started it just yet. But if I had to take a guess, maybe it won't be heavy spoilers, but I will just have to assume she'll make some pointers or reference to the season 2 story. Again, not heavy, but that's my guess. But since it is a limited time event, you might as well do it anyways, spoilers or not, because it does provide the event provides. Yeah, event rewards, polychromes, and all that sort other resources. So, honestly, I wouldn't call it a dilemma. I would say you should do it. I wouldn't be surprised though if the game does tell you like ahead of time, like, this might contain spoilers and such, but probably not. If it doesn't give you that warning, or I don't know, I don't know if that applies to limited time events. I don't know if it was in ZZZ or Genshin does have spoiler warnings. That I know for sure. So I assume ZZZ might do the same. But yeah, I should also do that event as well. I don't know why I'm like holding back. Well, not really holding back, more like just taking my time with everything that's unfolding. Plus with all the plus with the events happening, it's a lot of micromanaging. Oh, trust me, by the time you enter Season 2, Ratchet, you're gonna get your hands full as well. And just when you think you're finished one event, suddenly another pops up. In fact, that's exactly what happened yesterday. I believe I finished one event. The gravitational movie, I think that was called. And just when I finished that, whatchamacallit, a new event popped up out of nowhere the next day where you're just delivering food, but you don't have to do anything other than go here, talk to characters, and then that's it. Like, no action required. But it's free polychromes, so you can't say no to that. But yeah, my point is, it feels like ZZZ offers so many events more than Genshin does. At least with Genshin, there's like spacing between events. It's like once you complete this event, then you can wait. Then you just wait a week or 2 weeks, 1.5 week, and then before you know it, you'll do another event. ZZZ just showers you with so many. Which I guess is a good thing, because again, you still get polychromes. But on the other hand, oh well, then that's more stuff to do on top of whatever else you were doing in the middle of. At least though, there is spacing in between. I mean, as in like when two events are occurring, one would be a month long, and the other would just be like 2.5 weeks. So, you know, one event you can take your time with, while the other is, you know, more or less you gotta do it. Or unless that event is one of those, you know, those events where you can't do everything all at once. You have to wait until the next day, like real-time day, to do the next stuff. Why I oughta. I didn't notice, but the penguins are actually going faster Some folks are giving up on Mario Kart World because Nintendo threw in a update patch that fixed, of course, harmless bugs, while also adding something that ruins the experience. From what I've heard, from what I've heard, originally before the patch, whenever players during online matches, whenever a player selects a certain stage, what was it? You would mostly just enter a course. No, whatever course you select, that course, you don't play the traditional 3 laps. Apparently, no, you can't do that. It doesn't do that. Instead, you have to go through those, now they're calling it intermission courses. And then, on the final lap, you go through that 3-course lap, but it's only 1 lap, and then done. So, at the time, people found a workaround. People had to select random, and there was always a good chance you would race on a traditional 3-lap course. And then Nintendo stepped in. A company that should be all about fun basically turned that upside down. Nerf? Not really a nerf, or I guess you can call it a nerf, but more like something that Nintendo enforced. At least that's what people are going off by. So, what the nerf did is that now whenever you select random, there's a 90% chance that you will always, the game will now always select one of those intermission courses. The intermission courses, as in, like, you know, those, you've probably seen footages, those courses where you just, on the map it's just a straight road and such, right? It's also the courses where, you know, you transition from one place to another, which is what, as you already know, Mario Kart World's biggest gimmick. Now, here's the thing, from my point of view, how I see it, as somebody who doesn't have Mario Kart World, but I can see why Nintendo did it and why, of course, people don't like it. So, like I said, the reason why people don't like it is because the intermission course, you're just going from point A to point B, and it's just one straight road. Like, again, if you see the mini map on how the courses look, it's just one straight road. And then by the time you reach to the final destination, the map immediately changes to that three lap course, but you're not going 3 laps. You're just going 1 lap, that's it. So of course, yeah, people hate that because they just want to play the traditional 3-lap course. So the nerf that Nintendo implemented is 80% of the time, if you select random, or not 80, 90% chance you will get an intermission course. But there is a 10% chance that the random will probably select a traditional 3-lap course. So the people right now are assuming that Nintendo did this to make people like and enjoy the intermission courses. It's in a silly way of saying, it's like Nintendo saying, you are going to eat this thing and you're going to love it. Even though, as of now, people do not like it. And no, Nintendo had not made any... Of course, Nintendo would not make any kind of response. Now, here's the thing. The intermission courses, those straight roads, it works when you're playing, whatchamacallit, Knockout Tour. And it makes sense, yeah. And again, that's Mario Kart World's biggest gimmick. How you can go from one place to another in a straight road. And then when you look at Knockout Tour, yeah, of course, the whole game mode is revolved around those intermission courses, going from one destination to another, non-stop. Which, if you manage to get to the top 4, apparently it's a 15-minute session. So yes, people do understand that is the game's gimmick. But when it's something like for online play, people don't want that. They just want a traditional Mario Kart 3-lap course. But the fact that Nintendo are now forcing people to enjoy the inter-course mission or intermission levels, nah. That's like if the next Smash Brothers forces you to only play 4-player Smash and never one-on-ones. How do you think people would take that? Or how about 4 players with items on, but there's like no setting to turn off the items whatsoever? It's kind of like put it like in that kind of spectrum. Yeah, of course, not that many people will like that. People want options, is what the issue is. But Nintendo is not giving you those options. They're giving you their options, their choice. So after all that, people migrated back to Mario Kart 8. Because at least this game, while it doesn't have that many one-course track, it still keeps the traditional, 3-lap course. But hey, it's fine because Nintendo did make sold a lot of copies. But guess what? That also means Sega's gonna be taking the lead. Because if people have already given up on Mario Kart World after 30 plus hours, and if a game does that to you, that's not great. It won't be long. And think about from the long-term point of view. People waited 11 years for the next Mario Kart game, right? And this is what they got in return. It's like a mix, though. It's not a bad Mario Kart game. It's just that Nintendo just should have thrown out better options. And we thought having 24 players on paper and execution sounds great, but it's not really, because as you saw, if you see like footages, it gets chaotic, which is to be expected. But what happens when you take that chaos into those intermission courses, where again you're just going in a straight line with very little curves? If you wanted to play a racing game with 20 racers in a straight line, yeah, you play those realistic racing games like Gran Turismo or Forza Horizon or Forza, what's the other one? Motorsport. Oh shoot! I don't know this map. Heck, they should have done what they did here with the Mario Kart Tour maps. How each lap changes the courses. Wonder why they never pushed that idea. And the other problem with the 24 racers, look how wide the tracks are. The roads are way too wide, which on one hand, it's reasonable because that's 24 players. But on the other hand, now that's a lot of spaces for all the racers to just drive left and right. But then you remind yourself the character models in this game are small. I think they should have been a little bit bigger. That, or make the tracks not that wide. Plus, Mario Kart World doesn't have, like, the variety. Like, you know how in this game you have to choose the racer based on their weight, the cart, wheels, and glider. Tour, it's just character and cart. It's like the Mario Kart team took a step back. They're going with the bare minimum. In a way, you know what that reminds me of? Team Sonic Racing. They got after Sonic All-Star Racing Transform, you know, things kind of went bare minimum, where the whole focus was about the team racing. The team racing mechanic is interesting, but you know, where's the variety of like characters? Where's the variety for whatchamacallit? The three variety of vehicles. But then, yeah, and then guess what Sega did after that, after Team Sonic Racing? They actually went back to what made the Sonic Racing games fun, the variety. And for some reason, they decided to include SpongeBob. Sure, why not? They brought back Jet the Hawk, and you thought this is a racing game, like for cars, boats, and such. No, it's a racing for everybody. So let's bring back the hoverboards again. And since now we have hoverboards back, they have I guess they gave an excuse to bring Hatsune Miku. Sure, why not? So basically, Mario Kart World is the Team Sonic Racing. It's going to be considered more or less like the black sheep of the franchise. But that's not a good look on Nintendo's part, because you have to remember Mario Kart World is a launch title. Your launch title for a new console is supposed to give people a reason to buy your new hardware. At the very least, hey, Donkey Kong Bonanza is coming out. So, at least Nintendo won't be at an all-time loss. And unless they start fixing the issues that people have against Mario Kart World, yeah, no, they're just gonna migrate back here. They're just gonna stick to Mario Kart 8 until things are fixed. Or worse, wait another 11 years for another Mario Kart game. Which is also not good. Why Ayora? So, I guess that gives me a good reason not to get Mario Kart World. At least not yet. And yeah, again, I would not buy the bundle. The Switch 2 bundle that comes with it. Since it's just a digital code rather than the physical copy. Even longtime Nintendo fans are giving up on Nintendo, saying, quote unquote, the final straw. To me, I'd say the only reason I would want to Switch 2 is just so I can go back and play older Switch games that have like the optimization. Or, you know, faster loading times. Maybe get the Breath of the Wild, no, Tears of the Kingdom Switch 2 upgrade. But that's about it. Oh, and Metro Prime 4. Right, I forgot. Metro Prime 4 is going to be on Switch 1 and 2. But of course, yes, Switch 2 gets all the beautiful upgrades. I would imagine there would be, like, if people bought the Switch 1 version, I bet there would be a Switch 2 upgrade, like via DLC. Otherwise, imagine Nintendo being super greedy and say, "Oh yeah, we're not going to do that for you." Like if you decided to get a Switch 2 and you were hoping that Metro Prime would have a Switch 2 upgrade. No, imagine if they ever did, if they actually did that. I think that would be the second final straw, where people will definitely not trust Nintendo ever again. But I don't know. What do you think? You think Nintendo would dare do that? I mean, they already went out of their way to release Metroid Prime 4 on Switch 1, and have a Switch 2 port as well. You got to make it convenient. I mean, they already did that with Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom and Mario Party, right? What was the other one? I think Kirby also is getting one too. Oh, actually, you know what? Instead of Tears of the Kingdom getting a Switch 2 upgrade, I would rather get the Kirby one. Because at least the Kirby one has additional content. Yeah, whereas Tears of the Kingdom, it's just 60 FPS and high resolution, that's it. I would put that as an afterthought. Also, you should see you should see the loading speed for Smash Brothers for Switch 2. Not only does it keep the performance stable at 60 frames, but you know the spirit battles? After you like select your loadout and start the battle, the loading time is so quick, you don't even get a chance to see all of the battle conditions. Well, yes, you do. You can view the conditions beforehand, but it's just the loading times. Like, you know, if you want to take a second look at what you need to look out for, Spirit Battle will just immediately begin. It's like a hot 1.5 second. Like one of those, blink and you'll miss. It's like, I'm sorry, what was the condition? Or what do I have to look out for? What does my opponent do? And of course, yes, at least while Age of Calamity is only locked in 30 frames, which is fine. Heck, it's even better with split screen. At least Fire Emblem 3 Hopes. Apparently that one it's running in 60. Oh yeah, and out of the deepest depths of my brain, I was like, hey, what about Fire Emblem Engage? Did that game get a performance update? Short answer, no, it didn't. The only thing you get out of that, if there was frame drops, then I'm pretty sure it would just be locked in whatever frame it is. And yeah, the only thing you get is just faster loading times. That's it. A bit disappointing, but eh. I guess the same, yeah, and the same applies to Ultimate Alliance. It stays locked in 30, so you don't have to worry about spamming everybody's supers and see all that crazy frame rate drop. No, that doesn't happen anymore. Now it's locked 30 clean. And slightly faster loading time, that's it. I would have loved if Ultimate Alliance 3 did get like a performance update, but yeah, that's fine. As long as it's consistent. Actually, now I kind of wonder if Sonic Frontiers on Switch 2 will be performed better. Oh no! I can imagine the loading times would be better. Throw the shell, Yosh! Thank you. I guess in some cases the only good thing out of Mario Kart World is just playing with friends. But imagine trying to get 24 friends. Or, you know, if you're a streamer. Although I heard that setting up a room was also confusing for some folks, even today. But yeah, at least you can do that. Oh, I guess that's like another thing that people are kind of nitpicky. The lobby system in Mario Kart World is not a lobby at all. Like the way how the online works, as you're like waiting for other players to join you in a session, you're in free roam mode. So yeah, no lobbies, no nothing. Not like your traditional online lobbies where you can set up things, see player lists and such. You're just in free roam. Which on one hand, yeah, it's kind of cute that you get to see other players, probably take a photo of a group photo. But yeah, again, it's another case of lack of options. But yeah, like I said, it's also just a minor nitpick that some folks are finding. I can see why they got rid of the glider. This Bowser glider is blocking my view. But there is one more thing to point out. So despite everything I just said about Mario Kart World, believe me, some people are okay with what is being handed to them. Because yeah, of course, there are those people who don't mind the intercourse missions, intermission courses. It's not completely one-sided. But yes, majority of said side is people just not liking it. And actually some folks are even calling Mario Kart World a spin-off. Like it doesn't feel like a mainline Mario Kart game. It was just it's doing its own thing. For the most part, the positive side of Mario Kart World that people will praise is the free roam, doing a bunch of missions. Although the mission stuff, like the list to-do list is lacking in some cases. I don't know. It does show you what missions you have done, but I think it's like on a map, it won't show you in detail form. Wait, hang on. I've been doing 100cc? Could have sworn I was doing 150. No wonder things were a little slow. I didn't notice I was going that slow. Huh. I swear, if Sonic Racing Cross Worlds managed to upsell somehow, or hell, if it managed to outsell Mario Kart World, oh, I'm sure the internet's going to blow up and say, Sega finally did it. They got a Sonic game that best Mario at something. And trust me, you're not gonna hear the end of it with Sonic fans. After years of getting pushed back and being taunted, they're gonna have a moment. They're gonna be like, let us have this moment, Mario fans. You got what you deserve. I wonder who shoved their giant ring down the toilet. It better not have been you, Peach. Ugh, how unsanitary. Also, no, that's not a toilet, it was a bathtub. This is a toilet. At least the toilet has a built-in bidet. I didn't even know what those things were called until somebody said the name. And I was like, what's the purpose of a bidet? And then after hearing one explaining how a bidet works, I was like, oh. Convenient, but also, huh. I hope it doesn't tickle someone's fancy for using it. If you know what I mean. Heck, I never seen a bidet even when I went to any kind of resort. In fact, I don't think I ever seen a bidet in real life. I've only seen one that are built into the toilet, rather than be like a separate thing. In fact, yeah, the first time I saw that in Hitman, I was like, is that a mini... is that a mini sink? No, you fool, that is a bidet. Anyways, I wonder when the next Fire Emblem is coming up, because if the Switch 2 needs something, it's gonna need some returning new entries of old IPs. We have a Donkey Kong 3D Donkey Kong game. Sooner or later, we're gonna have a 3D Mario and Zelda, 100% for sure. We already got a Mario Kart, even though it's not the best at the moment. Another Smash. Now I kind of worry about the future of Smash. Because if Mario Kart already has a bad start like that, aside of sales, just imagine how Nintendo's gonna somehow mess up the next Smash. So much so, people are just probably gonna stick to Smash Ultimate. Because if people are doing that with Mario Kart World and shifting back to 8, that's, yeah, again, not looking good. Not good at all. But aside of that, yeah, think about what the next Fire Emblem could be. We already have another Hyrule Warriors coming up this winter. I think it's winter, they said. Pokemon? Oh wait, yeah, oh yeah, right. There is a Pokemon game that's coming out, right? Another Pokemon Legends. Except that one's getting whatchamacallit, the double double release, the Switch 1, Switch 2 port. Pokemon Legends ZA. People are kind of having mixed opinions still about it. Like the fact that you're only in Luminous City, you can't go anywhere outside. You're just traveling block after block, rooftop, and I think even the sewers. So I kind of wonder, like in terms of mainline games, yeah, because I don't think Legends would be considered mainline, right? But what they're doing with the combat at least is something a little bit of a fresh take. Where, hey, yeah, instead of how traditional Pokemon battles are just, you know, standstills, turn-based RPG, now you can actually command the Pokemon to move. You know, in fact, while that may be the first for Pokemon, but guess what? Digimon was already doing that with its first video game on the PS1. Yeah, actually, I remember I rented out a copy of that a long time ago, Digimon. Yeah, I think that game you get to command your Digimon to attack or reposition somewhere else to dodge an attack. But as a kid, I was just button mashing. I had no idea. But I do remember that subsequent moment during combat. So I kind of wonder. So, you know, just saying, Pokemon was not the first to do that. And heck, I was making comparisons to Final Fantasy XII. And should there be online, just imagine how the thrill of the battle, I guess. But then again, we'll see how the whole command thing works. Because the fact that you can tell your Pokemon to dodge out of harm's way. It's a matter of timing, too. Like a Souls game. Except your enemy is not a boss. Or a CPU. It's another player who can also think like you. Dodge, timing, use certain moves that either are fast or slow. So that's why I say, at least from what I hope to see, is that it's a bit of a game changer. Where something like Solar Beam, if you remember, that Solar Beam is a it's like a two-turn move. The first turn you charge, second turn you attack. So imagine that in real time. Or something like Thunder. Everybody knows the electric type moves like Thunder has the worst accuracy, but it does do a lot of damage. And now it's going to be Thunder is going to be made even worse. If the move is only directly supposed to be like one of those direct hits, yeah, you know, I think only the slowest Pokemon, like let's say an Onix, would take a hit. But as you already know, it's not effective. Dang, I got somebody else. No doubt there's going to be another WarioWare game. Considering that Mario Party Jamboree is getting a Switch 2 edition with some new mini games where you can utilize the Joy-Con mouse. Yeah, no doubt they're gonna make a WarioWare game dedicated to everything about the Joy-Con too. Gyro motion and the mouse too. Pikmin 5? Yeah. I guess that's a possibility. Although, I don't know. It just would be... It just seems weird to just slap in a number 5 next to something like Pikmin. But hey, it works for Mario, like Mario Party 5. I'm not putting my highest bets on another Mario sports game like like golf, strikers and such, or tennis. Splatoon 4? Oh yeah, you know it. Although I did hear there's like a new Splatoon-ish kind of like spin-off game. What's it called? Raiders or something? I didn't get the fullest detail. I only got I only heard about the name. But apparently it is also coming to Switch 1, so I don't know if I want to count that as a next-gen title. But I think by next year, or in the coming... at some point, somewhere, sometime this year... Oh, what the... My bad. For sure, I think a lot of people are going to be reminded about the one Switch 2 exclusive that I think a lot of people are definitely going to say, oh yeah, that's coming on a Switch 2. I should totally get the console. Maybe. And that game is The Dusk Bloods. I mean, it is a Switch 2 exclusive. Don't put your bets that it's ever going to be on PC. Because if Bloodborne didn't happen to be on PC aside of emulation, yeah, nah. Plus, you heard it from Miyazaki. They found an opportunity to talk to Nintendo. And when that chance was opened, they made conversations with Nintendo, pitched ideas, and this is what they got. And they're gonna give it to you. Whether you like it or not. And I know some Souls fans will be like, oh, but I don't want to Switch 2 just to play one game. Well, that's what, hey, that still didn't stop them from getting a PS4 just to play Bloodborne. Or the PS5 just to get Demon Souls Remake. Although, that's now on PC if I'm not mistaken. Los Santos! Why is the Ferris wheel ride a color of ketchup and mustard? Oh, sorry. I like how some folks still haven't learned their lesson, even though they are Mario Kart fans. Just because you see a double box item doesn't mean nobody's gonna grab it. You know players are definitely gonna grab it. My advice is, if you know for sure somebody's gonna grab that box item, just go for the single ones. Everybody's gonna be fighting for it, so better to get better to get a item and not nothing, you know. But I can understand the desperation out of it. Only get the double box item when you know nobody's around you to grab it. But now with Mario Kart World having 24 players, come on, man. Don't join the crowd. Don't be like an old lady on Black Friday, okay? Just go grab the one item boxes on the far right or far left, whichever one that is, you know, empty, less populated. Where's the Hollywood sign? What race number are we in? 7? I feel like this was the 10th. Oh yeah, I guess another word of insult. I know it's been already said many times, I know, towards Mario Kart World. It's like they didn't even try. They didn't even learn their lesson. The battle mode in World is just terrible. Let's face it, especially when you compare it to Mario Kart 8. Mario Kart 8's battle mode, the deluxe edition at least, I mean, Deluxe, it was completely refined. Not only did they brought classic maps, they also threw in some modes. You still have your traditional balloon, coin battle, but then there's some fresh takes like returning ones like Shine Runner, and the hot take which was Renegade Ops. What does World provide? Balloon and coin battle. That's it. But you want to know the worst thing about the courses, though? As far as I've seen, the only course that I think most people would enjoy is just the donut one from Mario 64. But guess what? Even though it is the classic donut ring, the rest of the other, it is a part of one of the intermission courses. And by the time you start playing, checking out all the other battle mode arenas, they are also just segments of the intermission level, intermission courses. It's just, you know, they put borders around just to make the arena smaller, just to make it like a battle mode format. But when you look at that compared to what they did in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, at least 8 Deluxe, the maps feel like an actual arena, whereas the other ones are just segments of the races of the normal races. And you know what game did that? The vanilla Mario Kart 8. Remember that? People were able to race around Moo Moo Meadows, but it was like not even that great because you can race around it. And people would prefer to race around it than treat it as like a battle mode arena. Hence why it was the battle mode for 8 was refined with the Deluxe. Oh yeah, and then yeah, the modes, there's only balloon battle and coin battle, coin runner, and that's it. That's how you know Nintendo was rushing in just to cash in on Mario Kart Tour's sales development. And yeah, they wanted to make it a launch title, so that didn't help. And the fact that they even pointed out that there won't be any crossover characters, I mean, that could change in a matter of like, well, if there's a future for Mario Kart World. But as of now, Mario Kart devs are saying, yeah, don't expect returning other Nintendo guest characters. So no Inkling, no Link, not even an F-Zero representation. And yeah, nothing out of the ordinary like the like the Mercedes-Benz collaboration. But hey, you'll never know. Maybe Nintendo might change their mind. Maybe they're just saying that just to divert everybody's attention and make people just have fun or have their guards dropped. And before you know it, instead of Mercedes-Benz, Toyota. Or, I don't know, Hot Wheels. Well, then again, Hot Wheels is not very known in Japan. They actually have a brand equivalent to Hot Wheels. So I forgot what they're called. But still, no F-Zero representation. It's rude. Heck, the fact that the game doesn't even let you drive. Wait, is there Mii racers in Mario Kart World? I don't think I've ever seen a single person ever drive as a Mii. Excuse me. I think then it should be safe to say there are no Miis, right? Well, at the very least, you do have Miis in Smash Brothers. But imagine the next Smash for Switch 2, they kill the Miis. But you know what? Actually, speaking of Miis, there is a Switch 2 game that another game that's probably going to give people a big buck for the Switch 2. Tomodachi Life. I think that's what it's called. Tomodachi Life, Living the Dream. Now, assuming that they do this right and not destroy what made the first Tomodachi Life fun on the 3DS, then yeah, it could be a good seller. But see, I think that could still be a concern. Because when people thought that the new Mario Strikers game would be fun, and it is, some people would have argued that it took away some things. I don't know what it is, but some things that didn't make the new one fun, but rather, make people want to wish that the new entry had something from the original. But yeah, at least so far what we've seen, it still has that crude humor. I mean, come on, the first thing that they showed off in the trailer was a Mii farting. And if that doesn't already set the mood and makes you want to buy a Switch 2, I don't know what will. Yes, I know fart jokes are not that funny time to time, but come on, let people have this one, okay? When's the last time you saw a Mii fart? Aside of Tomodachi Life on the 3DS, I'm assuming that you can fart in that one. I never played Tomodachi Life, but I've heard that people compare it to The Sims, because it's a game where you don't really play, but more like micromanage your Mii. You get to decide what clothes they wear, maybe sometimes listen to what they want, need. Yeah, pretty much like The Sims. And then there is one feature that the Tomodachi Life on 3DS has. You can make up your own lyrics, and the Miis actually say it. So kind of like a text-to-speech kind of thing. You could probably look it up online on YouTube and see the most hysterical, outrageous lyrics that people have made. Hopefully that makes a comeback. And if somehow Nintendo does not add that, well, they're gonna lose that. They're already gonna lose that one selling point. Oh no, trust me. People are gonna be expecting the musical customized lyric thing to come back, and if it doesn't, riot. Oh, you little bee. And little bee number 2. Bee number 3! Rosalina, it's that big head of yours that makes you a heavyweight. I mean, hell, the size of her head is all the reason why her up smash is so big. Even bigger with the Luma. Oh yeah, don't forget, tomorrow, it'll be the 1st of July, and that means Genshin ZZZ in-game store will have its monthly reset. So for Genshin, if you have any star glitters or stardust, use those, no, the stardust especially, use those to purchase the Intertwine and Acquaint Fates. 5 stocks each. And then for the ZZZ, same deal. I forgot what the name of the currency is for that one, but yeah, same deal. 5 master tapes and 5 of the I forgot what was the other one called. Use those to give you a slight upper hand, even though yeah, it's 5 wishes, 5 pulls, but hey. Unless you've been saving, those extra 5s could help you. Or, in my case, if you're close to a guaranteed, you'll be a little bit more closer with even just 5. I think for me, ZZZ, I'm at 28, 21. Yeah. I totally missed the battle pass for Honkai Star Rail. I didn't check the deadline, but snooze, I lose. Next update goes live tomorrow for Honkai. Except I am gonna be okay. I did say I was gonna skip a banner because the main banner is a husbando. However, one of the reruns, it's a triple how do we say, triple 5-star character run. Whoops. Yeah, unlike Genshin and Honkai. Oh yeah, Genshin and ZZZ. Honkai does, whenever they do reruns, every now and then they do have, when they do reruns, sometimes it could be a single character, or it could be 3. Or actually, I think it'll be, no, 3. And yeah, you can choose which... Yes, you can choose which banner you're gonna gacha for, but it's still one of those 50-50 pities and such. So yeah, one of the characters is having a rerun that I failed to get because I didn't have it. I lost my 50-50. And then, yeah. But I may have to skip on her again. Well, actually, I didn't skip. I tried, but failed. But now this time for sure I had to skip. And that character is the new character Tribble. Because on Friday, June 11th, I think, is when the Fate Night collaboration begins. In which 2 of the characters from the Fate Stay Night series comes. Which I've said many times, it's Archer and Saber. Although you get Archer for free if you log in, yeah. But if you want to, get duplicates, yes, he does have a dedicated banner for that. For me, though, I'm going for Saber. And because the banner... There is a deadline, but for now they said it's indefinite, so... Hoyoverse will probably give the heads up to players on, you know, when that limited time banner expires. Because in the future, in the long term, once that banner is expired, that's it. You don't get a chance to get that character. Those guest characters are gone forever. Although they'll be still listed in the game, whether you have them or not. So that's why I think it's better for me to just skip Tribble. Because at least she'll have a rerun. Saber and Archer, no. It's indefinite, but it's going to happen. They will expire, and then bye-bye, no more guest characters. Either until the next one, or if there's a miracle chance, they'll say, okay, we renewed our collaboration with Type Moon, and they said, okie dokie, green light, we can allow rerun. But yeah, as of now, there's no rerun. Some rumors are saying it's only going to last for 3 months. Which sounds reasonable. I think 3 months is enough time. Oh no. For whale players, just give them a single day and they already get the duplicates. However, keep in mind, it is a live service game. You would think that some guest characters like Saber would be like in the long term a permanent character in your party. Nah. Believe me. There's something called power creeping. And it happens to the worst of all live service games. And sometimes even full price games too, you know. Like when a DLC character drops in, especially in fighting games. It's like you think you're gonna stick to that one or two mains, but then all it takes is one DLC character to change your mind. Either that or you add them to your list and be like, okay, I got another character main in my pocket. But power creeping does still happen. Because then, you know, there's also fighting game nerfs and buffs. Which also sucks. But when we're talking about live service games, like Genshin is already showered with a lot of characters that power creeps. Hence why you don't often see people now choose characters from the first season. You don't see people use Jean or Diluc, Mona, or Lisa. Because, yeah, they get power creeped by the newer characters. But don't let that put you down or intimidate you and feel like you have to get the newer characters. No, of course not. Waluigi Pinball. No, don't feel that way. You can still make the characters work. As I always say, if you can still dish out damage to your enemies, solve puzzles and whatnot, it is still possible. You can still it's still doable, I should say. Just like how some people play Bloodborne and, you know, instead of listening to the meta, they just play the game their way. But others would probably say, oh, why aren't you using the meta? Why don't you use this arcane or this weapon? Well, first of all, you don't have to listen to them. You play the game your way. No different than Genshin or live service games. However, the only part where power creeping actually strikes a nerve at you is the Spiral Abyss for sure. Although I should probably try that out myself. Like the next time the Spiral Abyss resets, I'm gonna try using nothing but 4-star characters. Slow down! Thank you. It's better to get a boost after a hit than none. Well, of course, my results may vary because of my specific build. Heck, there's already like some videos people trying out Spiral Abysses with only 4-star characters. But yeah, I have seen like I've seen enough live service games where they kind of do that, where those extra game modes where you have to play at your utmost best and use quote-unquote the meta. Yeah, that's pretty much where power creeping kicks in, and it's like, oh yeah, if you don't have the 5 stars, you're not gonna get all the rewards for sure. But for me, I don't feel pressured at all. As much as I would love to get 800 Primo Gems every month out of the Spiral Abyss. But no, I don't need to. I don't have to. Or, no, rephrase that. I don't need to. I just do what I can to earn how many Primo Gems I can get. Plus, not only that, Hoyoverse does change. Every now and then they do change not only the type of enemies that you fight, but even the buffs. And sometimes conditions. 1 month, it was just all combat. The previous month was mostly combat and then one sort of like defense mechanism thingamajig, where you have to like defend some kind of device, and you have to make sure to get a 3-star, you have to make sure the HP remains 60% above. But of course, it depends on what buff you're getting in that month's Spiral Abyss and what kind of enemies you're dealing with. My results differ. Sometimes I might have a good time, maybe I won't, or maybe I need to rearrange my party to get a better one. But that being said, that's again power creeping, suggesting that, hey, yeah, you better get a better team or you're not going to get that 3-star result. Heck, I can tell you from experience, power creeping is the worst. Arc Knights! Yeah. Arc Knights, just full of it. There's an event? Oh, sorry, is your party not the best? You should have rolled for 5 6-stars. What's that? You don't have 5 6-star characters? Well, here's our recommendation. Or here's what the professional players would tell you. Spend money. Be one of us. Spend money. Open your wallets and succumb to the dark side. Be a whale player. Ha 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 ha. Yeah, no, nah, fat chance of that, nah. I can already see it from... I saw it from a mile away, man. All the whale players are grinding, going crazy, ready to open up their wallets for Saber. And maybe Archer as well. Archer is a 5-star as well. I saw a major spoiler in Death Stranding 2, but I'm not gonna. Don't worry, I'm not gonna say what it is. Maybe 6 months later, or I guess within that 6 months, you would already see one surprise where Kojima somehow did it. He managed to get a certain character back, sort of. Fan favorite, yeah. And when people in gacha games always favor the favorite characters, they leave behind the other ones. That's why I still see in games like Genshin where the typical meta characters are all at level 90, but then when they scroll down or when you see somebody at the bottom of the list, it's like Why is Kagome only level 40? Or why is Bennett level 30? If somebody wants to judge my account, I would give a shout out to myself and say, "Can you look at my account and judge it?" And I'm sure those people, the judges, would be like, "Why haven't you leveled up Diluc? He's really good." Or Chilled. Or Zhongli, he makes the game easy, go from hard to easy mode. But on the other hand, I guess the only positive I could get out of them is, wow, that's a lot of female characters, and they're all level 90. Favoritism much? Yes. There's no hiding it. I would easily admit it. I mean, there's nothing to hide if I'm giving them consent to judge my account, my roster. Hey, maybe one day I'll get the male characters a chance to shine. I mean, look, I tried building Zhongli, but you know, it can't be helped when Hoyoverse keeps dropping new waifus one after another. And not only that, I'm already low on Mora. That's even adding more stuff to grind for. Same thing with Honkai and ZZZ. Although, I had a moment in my head thinking, you know, I gotta get Billy to maximum. If I want another character, another physical offense character, which actually now that I think about it, ZZZ does. Wait. Does ZZZ have a attack physical 5-star? I know they have. I know Korin is a 4-star, a physical attack character. But was there a 5-star variation? Let me see. Hang on. I'm just now realizing this. Billy and Korin, so far, I know for sure, are the only 4-star attack characters. Physical. Oh yeah, there's one. Nekomata. Right, Doi. But yeah, no, that's it. She's the only one. Oh, the only 5-star, I should say. Despite having the same types, you have to remember, Korin and Billy do not have the same playstyle. Korin, in combo hit 3 and 5, you can hold or button mash. I would recommend holding the button. Whereas Billy, you can just hold the button as you shoot. And if you see an incoming attack, he has like his own dedicated dodge where he takes his second gun and shoots into the direction where you the direction you want him to move, to dodge. So I thought, yeah, I should probably do that for Billy. I should probably grind, get his materials, get his disk drives. And I better do it as soon as I can because two more waifus are on the way. and they're also physicals. Except one is support and the other is anomaly. Which is, yeah, they're not attack, but you know, it's the physical chips that I have to grind for crazy. And yeah, I'm still on the fence on whether or not I should roll for Ju Fufu. I'm still holding back. I'm gonna wait until the next ZZZ special program goes live, where they showcase the 2 characters, and then from there I'll have to decide whether or not Ju Fufu is worth pulling. I mean, it's not to say that she's not at all. Again, most characters have like their own play styles on how they function. That's why the game has a dedicated move list where you can pause and check it out. Or hell, the fact that ZZZ during their character trials, like you know how Genshin does that too, where you can do like you enter like some kind of arena and you get to try out the character. They only give you just a description on how the character plays, and then that's it. ZZZ gives you a step-by-step proper tutorial like it's a fighting game. Like, how does the character function? They even give you instructions on how to use it. How to use the character. And at any time, you can even replay those if you wish. So, yeah, anyways, yeah, I just want to see if the other two ladies are worth pulling or not. But just judging by looks, I say yes. One is a fencer, and I can't tell what kind of a Theron she is, because the ears, somehow they're like inwards. It looks like a bunny. Looks like bunny ears, but they're too short to be bunny ears. The other, as you saw, the one with the pink sweater. Well, she's no Theron, she's just human, but she has a raccoon. Or, could be a Tanuki. I think it's a Tanuki, because I think her name is in Japanese. It's a Japanese name, I'm assuming. And yeah, that Tanuki is wearing a, a police cap or some sort. Okay, this time 12. So, yeah. Actually, I kind of think of it. How many batteries do I have left? Oh boy. Can't wait to grind on those disk drives for Billy. Since he's a attack character, I can already predict on what main stats I need for sure for him. Physical damage for sure, attack for the 6th slot. Not sure about which one, crit rate or crit damage. As for the type of disk drive, I think I can imagine which one he's gonna need. Uh-oh. Oh, never mind. Crisis averted. Never mind. No! Oh, that's right. The blue shell forces the train to go up. That's not how that works. Subway transits don't do that. Think of the pedestrians. Uh-oh. Slow down. And we're off. Best to get hit by a blue shell before a speed booster. So as soon as you touch it, it's as if you didn't get hit. For like 2 seconds. Oh, you bet I'm gonna main Hatsune Miku in Sonic Racing Cross World. For too long have I seen Hatsune Miku be where in her own game it's just rhythm. It's just a rhythm game, which I have no issue with. I do love the Project Diva games, but it's time for Hatsune Miku to take on a different profession, be playable in a different form. And I'm sure that maybe some people online will probably use SpongeBob for the memes. And Patrick. Who would have thought? Anya, don't touch me. It was more, the racers were more visible when they're on the cannon. Now they're like so small I can't even see them fly. Speaking of flying, I wonder if Nintendo's ever gonna make another Star Fox game. I did enjoy Star Fox Zero, actually. Some folks just didn't like it because they didn't get used to the gyro aiming controls, which definitely for sure I could agree, because at the beginning it was a bit of a struggle, especially in the all-range mode, and there are moments where you're kind of like switching between looking at your TV monitor and then on the touch screen, especially the glider thingamajig, where the gyro wing, I think that was the vehicle, what it's called. That has to get out. It was slow pace. It was only there just for the sake of a stealth mission. Well, I say stealth, but you can get caught anyways and still fight your way through. But the only purpose they did that was just so that whenever you drop a Rob, at least Rob has some respects in that game. Have you seen what they did to him in Mario Kart World? Anyways, yeah, they used that to justify how you have to like drop Rob, and then you have to look through Rob's perspective through the Wii U tablet, and then just have him, go inside some air duct or whatever to hack or something. And then once you're done that, you can retract and then look back up to your TV screen. So yeah, I say those missions were not that fun. They kind of like ruined the pacing on pretty much 80% of the Star Fox gameplay, which is, on rails, shooting. And that's something that I think most game developers tend to forget. There is something called pacing. Like if your game is to be expected to be fast-paced, you have to make sure you keep it fast at all times. You only slow down, I guess, during cutscenes when you need a breather, when the timing is right. But when it's something like how Star Fox Zero did it, one moment you're doing an R-Wing level, 3 of them, and then suddenly, okay, time to go slow. Very slow. But at the very least, it's like the only one game where Rob gets some respect. And no, not the actual robot buddy, not Rob 64, like the Star Fox team's robot companion. They actually have another Rob. They have their own dedicated Rob. Oh my god. Uh-oh. Oh, free shrooms. Excuse me. Would there be another Xenoblade? I don't know. I have not played any of the Xenoblade games, so I wouldn't know if I wouldn't take a guess and say if Monolith Soft would make a fourth. But in my opinion, I think they shouldn't. They should just move on to the next sort of IP, or take the Xeno name and make a whole new world generation. Because, you know, because, what is it? Xenoblade is the third, right? Because there was a Xeno series on the PlayStation 1, and then Xeno Saga. Although, unless you told me that's actually different. No, Xeno Saga is part of Xenoblade. Because I think I remember seeing a reference of Xenoblade, of Xeno Saga being in Xenoblade. So I don't know, maybe they can call it Xeno. Or you know what would be crazy is if they actually did go back to Xeno Saga. But I think the problem with that would be if I'm not mistaken, Xeno Saga was published by Bandai Namco. I think, right? But I think that's my opinion. They should make a whole new Xeno series at that point. A new generation, new characters, new world, and that's it. Or yeah, like I said, if they could, go back to Xeno Saga. Or remaster those, I guess? I don't know. And considering that Monolith Soft are pretty much Nintendo's dedicated second party on making open world games. In fact, did you know that they actually co-developed the open world for Mario Kart World? I mean, yeah, it makes sense. At that point, after Breath of the Wild, you can pretty much tell Nintendo, whenever they needed an open world game, they would always consult to Monolith Soft. Or commission them to help. Heck, I wouldn't be surprised if they also took part of Donkey Kong Bonanza. Oh shoot, no shoot, too fast. Nah, this is so the worst map. Look at the layout. And while there are fork roads, but eh. Same thing with Sunday Driveway. But at least Sunday Driveway has been slightly improved with Mario Kart World's mechanics, like how you can drive on walls. And heck, you should see all the crazy speed runs people have already managed to pull off with all the trick stunts. It's absolutely insane. So insane. I think people are going to. I mean, if you ever think about picking a Mario Kart World, playing online, you better start practicing all those trick jumps. because that's exactly what's going on in terms of like more or less kind of like what the meta is. You have to know the shortcuts because I guarantee you 60% of players are going to know the shortcuts. They're going to use that jump trick. And yeah. In fact, I think one castle, or one stage in particular, Bowser's Castle, has this one nasty shortcut that you can take with just one leap. One leap, rather than go a whole curved circle like if it was like a developer's intention. Like, forget that, no, just jump. It's a bit of a trick, but it's one of those tricks where once you get the hang of it, hey, then now you're part of the meta. You're now part of the group that you kind of despise, but oh well, you have to do it anyways because most people are gonna do it. And if you don't, hey, well, now you're gonna fall far behind, and no amount of mushrooms, bullet bills are gonna catch up with the crowd. And that's like another argument. People are saying that aside of the classic courses, some of the new ones are just not designed well. Because of all the trick jumps you can do, you're practically cutting corners, literally cutting corners. And then it does make you wonder, what was the point of, having a curve there where I can just skip literally the whole thing then? Then again, that's like with most Mario Karts, isn't it? When you get a mushroom, you can just... But then again, no, I think that was intentional at least. Like especially when you look at the time trial ghosts that are like made by Nintendo, you can also see them taking those same shortcuts where you need a mushroom to bypass it. That's definitely when you know that's a shortcut that was intentionally made by the devs. But when you look at YouTube videos and see some ridiculous shortcuts, then that is not by developers' intention. Heck, you don't even need to look up on YouTube. You can actually just download the high-ranking ghost data of that course, and you can watch the replay from there. See how they pulled it off. The last ghost data that I saw from a player was Shroom, I think, Shroom Ridge, right? Non-stop, no breaks, just constant drifting inwards. That looks like he could have touched the wall and the cars, but he didn't. He managed to miss every single one of them. It's crazy. Just drift boost that, drift boost this, and oh wow. I would not. It would probably take me multiple practices to get it right. But it wouldn't be considered impossible since somebody has already done it. Crazy. But that's what gamers do on their spare time, or when they try to accomplish something in their life, or to the community. I still think that speedruns in roguelike games it's not even a fair competition. There shouldn't even be a competition for speedrunning a roguelike game. Because games like Hades and even Hitman will set the example really high on why having a speedrun competition in a roguelike game is pointless. Because it's never consistent. Even in a single-player experience. Say if you did a run in Hitman Freelancer mode, Do you think the results are always going to be the same? Even if you play it on hardcore, no, the results will always be different. Because the suspects will always be your starting position will always be different. Same goes for the suspect. Their position will be different. Same thing, and then when you're doing the suspect hunting, yeah, again, different starting position, and whatever intel you get on what the person looks like, what they do, what their group is, it's not consistent. It's never the same one every run. And yet people do it anyways because, sure, why not? And for games like Hades or Vampire Survivors, where you have permanent upgrades to make yourself stronger for each run, again, there is no consistency on that one. If anything, I guess you would have to unlock every upgrade before you could even do a speed run. But then again, that still doesn't ignore the fact that one room after another, you'll either encounter the same, you'll encounter maybe some same enemies, but then halfway there, it's like, now it's a different enemy. My whole point is, well, yeah, okay, I just said it. I said enough. I just wonder why they even bother doing it anyways. Speedruns should only be considered if the game is consistent and scripted. Like, literally playing Super Mario Brothers. And, you know, the speed run for that is like less than 5 minutes or something. Or if it's like a game where you can do 100% speed run. At least those games, you can do it solo or do like a versus speed run. Excuse me. Penguin. At some point I should go back and replay Bloodstain. And I'm gonna, since Bloodstain has a lot to grind, what I'm going to do, first off, I'm not gonna do a speedrun, no. I am gonna take my time with the game, and I'm gonna dedicate on just sticking to one weapon type. So I'm like debating foot for kicks, because I do know in the beginning you start off with two options, two weapons, sword or I think it's called Kung Fu shoes. So I'm thinking maybe whip or shoes. Kicks or whip. And of course, don't forget, each weapon does have like its own dedicated like move sets. I'll take that hit. But not this. Speaking of Bloodstain, actually I haven't started the Dominique Revenge. It's a new classic mode 2 where you play as Dominique. After the end of the main game, she sets out to regain her strength and try to get her revenge. But she also, in that one, she also has multiple endings. I think only two, if I'm not mistaken. Bad end and good end. She won't be in the next game. Yeah, unfortunately. I guess same thing for Miriam. Although that could be too soon to say, since we were only shown a reveal trailer. So, of course, expect some like newer trailers down the road where they're gonna show off more content, more characters, possibly more bosses. And who knows, maybe cameos. That's what I'm thinking. But if not, then that's fine too, because like with most sequels, or in this case, like Castlevania. I mean, it's already obvious that Bloodstained is a spiritual successor to Castlevania, and just like Castlevania, some sequels don't have like the same characters. After Simon Belmont was pretty much exhausted, you kind of see you saw how later Castlevania games on the GBA DS games, they do still keep the name Belmont, but it's not Simon himself. It's his ancestors, future ancestors, his descendants. And then there's some non-Belmont protagonist. So I think that's it. So yeah, just like that, Bloodstained is doing that. Make a new entry, new sequel, but star some fresh new faces, which is a good thing because it does help. New characters do help. What's the wording? Expand the universe of Bloodstained. And that's what sequels should be about sometimes, Can't always just stick to the same old characters. Unless you see like some kind of evolution of change, I guess. As far as I know, though, if I remember the ending in Bloodstained, the good ending, Miriam, they actually found a way to cure her crystallized form. While it has, haven't seen it, we haven't seen it yet happen. But hey, if it does happen, if it's canon, if that's the ending that they go for, then we might see a different Miriam in the future, where she no longer has that crystal bits on her body. But then that does kind of reduce her ability, like in terms of like transforming or summoning demons and other type of abilities. Like if you remember some demons do give her permanent upgrades, like double jumping. That's okay. Even humans can do some double jumping with equipments. I think there was even that one funny permanent upgrade where you could invert the entire room. It is the only way to advance through the story. Use your permanent upgrades. And use said upgrades to reach to secrets that you couldn't normally reach. It's called progress. It's what Metroidvanias tend to do. Oh no! Oh wow. just never ending. But they're nowhere close to me. It's the Mario Kart experience. You'll be hit by 3 different things. Or even 3 of the same shells. A triple shell. Anyways. So at least this time around, for the sequel for Bloodstain, we're getting a tag team sort of like playstyle. And just from that, I was reminded of one of the Castlevania games that had done that. I think it was the DS game, Ruins of Portrait of Ruin or something, right? So it's a nice callback. I mean, heck, Miriam herself pretty much was a reference callback, or it just reminded me of Shinoa from the DS game. Well, I forgot what it was called. No, not Harmony of Despair. Harmony of Despair was that multiplayer game. I was watching the YouTuber, what's his name? Some Call Me Johnny, and he's currently covering the GBA Castlevania games. Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, the GBA Castlevania games had like their own funny gimmicks too, and it is so GBA era when, you know, it's a GBA era when one of the Castlevania GBA games starts using something called like a card system. And in fact, the card system is more or less, it's reminded me of how whatchamacallit, of how Bloodstain has the crystal things, where as you stack a whole bunch, you can you can upgrade the summons to make them stronger. And I remember, oh boy, I remember how grindy and tedious it was just to grind for a specific summon. Such as like one transformation that I did like was the succubus, where she could, I think it was a succubus, where it's that demon where she kind of like dresses up as like one of those Playboy bunnies. Her ability was just mostly kicks, and I think something else, but somehow that transformation, the kicks from that was like very efficient, more very damage, I should say. But in order to make the transformation more stronger, I had to like go in and out of the room where she usually is spawned. And yeah, literally Metroidvania style, you know, you go in and out just to respawn the enemy. Heck, I had to do that with food ingredients just to get the permanent stat upgrades. Like, there's that demon cow. I had to like get 2 different ingredient drops that it has, milk and the meat, just to get the ingredients. And yeah, I learned that in order for the monsters to drop rare items or drop it more frequently, I had to upgrade, I think it was luck. So I had to make sure I had equipment and any other food upgrades that would give me more luck. And then there's that librarian guy where you can borrow his books to increase certain stats. So obviously I went with luck, just to increase the higher chance of drops. And yeah, even with all the luck in the world, oh boy, it was still a lot of in and out, forward and backwards, respawning the enemy. No, kill, in and out, enemy respawn, kill, pick up anything. Every now and then it could be gold though, which is also good too. And yeah, that's how you know that's a Metroidvania experience. Heck, Metroid may not have upgrades like that, But you could use that to, you know, refill on your missiles, your energy tanks. But when it's Castlevania, and you know, if there's like a shop system or something to grind for, that's how you can exploit the game. Although, is it really an exploit when it's built that way? Nah, I don't think so. Well, at least it's better than Souls games where you always have to go to a bonfire or whatever just to respawn every enemy. If you're trying to grind for any kind of materials they drop. Or blood echoes or whatever, souls. Just go in and out, forward and back, until you get enough, or you get what you're looking for. I think I said it before, but I am very proud of Artplay and Igarashi-san. Just looking at how high budget that the next Bloodstained game is, they really come a long way from a Kickstarter game to now a highly budget game. And it makes sense that they would take a long time for their next game. I mean, hey, at least in between those times, they've been updating the game. They commissioned Inti Creates to make spin-off games like Curse of the Moon. They put Miriam in other indie games, so you know, it's still worth it. Let the people know Bloodstain is here. It's a series, and Igarashi is going to continue as long as he lives. As long as he's the producer, along with his team at Artplay. And there's still no Diddy Kong in Mario Kart World. They cut the poor chimpanzee again. It doesn't make sense. How does Nintendo keep doing this and ruining it for everybody? I mean, is it really hard for them to add back Diddy Kong? But no, what you get is a different variation of characters in different costumes. I mean, yeah, it's a Mario Kart Tour thing, but come on. They did it, and they dared not even brought back Funky Kong. Rude. I remember back in the day, people were hoping that to see Dixie Kong in Mario Kart 8. It didn't happen, so mods, of course, leave it up to the modders. At the very least, they did not bring back the babies. I mean, not all of them. Some of them are still there. And not to mention how there are no Koopalings. All the 7 Koopalings are not there anymore. In favor of character costumes variations. But I would still take the Bowser's minions over the Koopalings, honestly. I mean, come on, if you want more representation of Bowser's minions outside of Mario Party, the Super Mario Party series, sure. Let's have a Goomba drive. And then some other ones like the cow. Just cow and penguin and snowman. I guess Nintendo was in on the joke about the cows in Moo Moo Meadows. So they definitely did that on purpose for the fun, for the laughs. But at what cost? No Koopalings, and Diddy Kong, and Funky. Well, hey, at least Pink pink gold Peach is not a thing anymore. Thank goodness, because what was the point? Why did they need a pink gold? Metal Mario was fine, at least. Excuse me. And wait, I don't think Dry Bowser is in World, right? Oh, I did hear though. If you want to unlock the Bowser's minions in Mario Kart World, there is an item, the magic orb where you summon Kamek. Yeah, Kamek is the one that's responsible for turning all the players into the Bowser's minions. Now, when that happens, if you transform into, say, Hammer Bros, or I think Hammer Bros, no, Goomba, then you'll get a pop-up message during gameplay, by the way. Yeah, I know. To say, hey, you unlock Goomba. Okay, there you go. Yeah. Now, that sounds great on paper and execution, but guess what? It's all RNG. So assuming that you get most of the minions and you're just missing one, that means you have to... You or somebody during the race has to grab a Kamek orb, magic orb, and hope for the best that whenever they trigger it, you get the minion that you're looking for. Otherwise, it's just all the luck of the draw. You either get the minion or don't, and you just got to keep racing, which is pretty much what you're going to be doing anyways. So I'm sure if you're lucky, you might just get all of Bowser's minions in just like matter of, I don't know, less than an hour. Who knows? But it's just weird how that's how you unlock a character, through RNG. And it's even worse when it's like the last character. And yeah, no, it's never it's not always guaranteed that the Kamek will transform you into the one that you need to unlock. So you might end up being a Goomba twice in one race, in one session. No, seriously, how is it still possible that they did not bring Diddy Kong into Mario Kart World? I am actually baffled. Sagat, Muay Thai fighter. Good to see he's doing well. And it's a good thing he's in it and not his so-called successor, Adon. I can't stand Adon and his screeching screams. Guy is also very cocky. Back in the day, Sagat was a Shoto, if you kind of think about it. He had pretty much everything that Ryu has as well. An extender, Dragon Punch, or I mean like anti-air Dragon Punch, a projectile. I guess the only difference is size, because he is taller. So I'm kind of wondering how, aside of the drive gauge, what are they going to do to make him different? I just realized Funky is in this session too. I know, Funky, they didn't add you in. Welcome to the club. Welcome to the club of Mario Kart World rejects. Well, to be fair, even the Mario Kart fans are rejecting World and coming back here. Nah, well, at least that is if you're not bothered by the whole nerf that Nintendo pulled. Blue Shell skipped me. Ah, Blue Shell. Let's see. Will it disappear before it reaches me? Will I be able to reach the finish line before that? I don't think so. It's getting back. It's already made one lap. It's over. At least it hit... Oh no, it disappeared. At least it hit Tanuki Mario. I saw that. Return to Monk. Return to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. At least in this game, you have 96 courses to play with. Not sure how many there are in Mario Kart World, but it's definitely less. Sure, in the long term, if the game does get DLC, maybe it'll surpass or even have 98 courses. But if you have to be better than your last game, it has to surpass. However, knowing what Nintendo just did with the inclusion of intermission courses, I bet you the newer levels are not going to be as fun as this. They're going to add in more intermission courses. And just like the idea I had in mind, they're going to call it DLC Island. DLC Island, because they're going to find a way to only make all the DLC courses connect. And yeah, no longer be somehow... No, they're going to find a way to connect the main island base game into the DLC island. And then when they do that, yeah, again, that's how they're going to enforce the intermission levels. And like good old-fashioned Nintendo right now, they're gonna make you love it. If you don't like it, too bad. Eat it. Ah! How dare they? What? What's a boo gonna do for me? Well, at least there wasn't a giant Bowser shell. Like the good old days. Heck, if I recall, there wasn't a fence in the middle, so allowing green shells to like fly over. What do you have in your hand, villager? Or did you put it behind your ass? Yeah, I knew you had something behind your ass that time. I will say another point credit that I will give Mario Kart World is the way how you hold items. So at least now you don't hold characters don't hold items like this. It's already placed behind them, forcing you to already be defending yourself. So whereas in this game you can just wait for the right timing. It's all about timing at your own free will. Mario Kart World forces you to already whatever item you have in the roulette, it's already going to be placed behind you. So whether you have a banana, a green shell, red shell, doesn't matter. They're just going to leave it behind you. And already place it as a defensive item. And it kind of does make a bit of... It does become a game changer. Where here you can wait it out. But now with your item on the back, now you're... Any racer behind you is free to break your defense. The weirdest change for sure is the bullet bill. So I've seen where the bullet bills in that game, whenever you touch it, it doesn't like knock you back or knock you down. Now it just hits you and your car just tilts. You slow down a little bit, but not like in the knockdown kind of way. Same thing with like bumping into other cars in like pedestrian cars. I mean, I imagine you only get hit by the bullet bill by the tip. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with that. Oh, and I guess another nice thing is all the drivers here, at least in Mario Kart World, you actually can see the drivers, whether they're Toads or Koopas. And the best part, you can murder them. Like during a race or free roam, especially in free roam, you know how they showed how you could like hijack a truck and drive. You can even hijack a helicopter for some reason. It's for a challenge, I guess. Now Mario Kart has the decency to allow you to not only steal another vehicle, like it's GTA, but now you could run over a crash, bulldoze, whatever you want to put words into, and literally murder all the drivers. Yeah, literal ragdoll physics of all the cars like flying out. So if you still have anything against Toads and Koopas, yeah, run them over. It's fine. I'm sure they have insurance. And I'm sure maybe in the world of Mario Kart they have the best doctors in the world. But the fact that now you know what kind of people are driving the cars and trucks in that game, there's more context to it. I mean, is it any different here? What if there are Toads and Koopas driving these cars? But we don't know that. For all we know, they could be real humans from New Donk City. Speaking of New Donk City, I'm surprised they didn't even include a level from Super Mario Odyssey. Or did they? But I just know there's no New Donk City, which is criminal. How did they make a new Mario Kart without including a new level based off of recent Mario games? Where is New Donk City? There's a new wallpaper for the summer of this month by the Genshin Impact folks. And it's the picture of Hu Tao, Best Girl, Best Pyro. the director of the funeral parlor. She still as cheery as ever. And the best part about that picture, feet. I know people have a fet fetish, but yeah, feet. But more importantly, you see adorable Hu Tao and her cute smile. I tried getting up there. I can't tell if that mother bird, or it could be a father bird, because the little yellow circles. I remember as a kid, somehow I did not look at those as hands. I looked at those as something else. But looking at the model now in 3D, I'm pretty sure those are hands. I'm not gonna say what. Not gonna say what my mind was thinking, what they did look like. Let's just say it's something inappropriate. But the birds' babies are very useful. Anya. Thought I was touching some spikes, but those were just pointy grasses. Let me touch. Oh, gee, thanks. That should have been a shortcut, though. Because I'm pretty sure that path is more shorter than taking that long curve. What time is it now? 10? Oh, okay. Alright, I guess after this session, I'll call it a day. Yoshi's Egg Market? Yoshi, how could you be selling your baby Yoshis? Unless it's for adoption, but then again, it's eggs. What if Bowser buys them and fries them? Those are some giant egg omelets he's gonna start cooking. Well, then again, that's no different than farmers now harvesting chicken eggs. We eat the eggs. And if anybody says that's cannibalism, tell that to the coyotes and other animals that eat big animals that eat smaller animals. You know, I find that kind of funny how when, you know, somebody like PETA will make an argument and say, humans are you people are evil. You're cannibalizing them, eating their meat. Oh yeah? What's stopping a polar bear from eating some seals, or killer whales, orcas killing seals? You can't save them. You can't even convince a killer whale to stop eating seals. Or how about grasshoppers, big, scary grasshoppers eating spiders? Or hyenas trying to dogpile on lions? Because, if you see the BBC Earth videos, oh shoot, I thought that was a Red Show. I've seen plenty of BBC animal documentaries. Narrated by David, what's his last name? I can't pronounce it, it's really long. Yeah, dude. Animal on animal violence, that exists, Sure, and I'm sure PETA's argument will be like, well, that's like, but that's going to be like you saying humans eat humans. Well, yeah, that's why the word cannibalism exists, and yes, I am aware there is that kind of thing. But yeah, I know, that's also messed up. If you have anybody to blame our ancestors, aka cavemen. But my point still stands. Animals do eat other animals. Dude, even Lion King. And I'm not pointing out the fact that Scar ate all the animals, hence why they left Pride Land. But no. Those animals back then when Mufasa was king of Pride Land, they're willing to sacrifice their own flesh to keep their king going. All those animals, they're praising their their next king, Simba. Be like, when he gets older, I hope he gnaws on my organs. Our king must live on. Well, no, think about it really. How do you think Mufasa and all the other lions, how do you think they still survive? Oh, jeez. You think they just eat off of just vegetables? Nah, man. They tell their subjects, we need food. You shall be the next sacrificial next sacrificial animal to keep us going. Otherwise, think about our son Simba. He's not gonna live. He must live. He must eat your flesh to move on and to go on. The only reason why they all left Scar is because he's definitely not a great leader. Not only that, but remember when Scar took over, he had more than a lot of mouths to feed. The hyenas. That's why there was nothing left. And what was that when Scar had summoned Simba's mother, Sarabi, I think that's her name. He was like demanding her, like, why aren't your pack hunting other animals? We need food here. Which implies that, yeah, even before Scar took over, that was their job. They had the ladies had to and yeah, even Mufasa himself, he had to go out and find the food. So yeah, animals eat animals. Lion King, you may call it a family movie, but it's more deeper than that. And may I remind you about the original story of Pinocchio? Yeah, Disney didn't make that story. Somebody else did. Disney only took inspiration and turned it into a family movie. Mufasa, we need to eat the... Mufasa, we need to eat the zebras. Simba is starving. Oh, jeez. Eat my poop. Oh, no. I wonder if many people even look behind. At least, in Mario Kart World. Then again, I don't think there's ever a time when you're being hurled by so many items. In a 24-player race. You know, I kind of wonder... You know how some people try to identify our cartoon as a kids show? Heck, some people even call Fortnite a kids game. I know, it sounds completely and utterly stupid. They only call it that because of how it's like a cel-shaded, colorful 3D game. But anybody knows. Anybody with a big, even a medium-sized brain knows that is completely far off the mark. Like my aiming skills. So then I asked myself about like, okay, if somebody were to ask me what would be identified as a kids movie versus what is identified as a family movie. So then I thought to myself, the Disney classics wouldn't be considered a kids movie. Not even 100%, no. Because let's take, like I said, Lion King as an example. Or maybe a different example, like Beauty and the Beast. Can you call that one a family or a kids movie? What is the what is the defined definition of both types of genres, types of audience? So from my point of view, again, you don't have to agree with this, but from my point of view, what identifies as a family movie is something that people of all ages can watch, play, and enjoy. Kids movie is obviously just dedicated to kids. So take Beauty and the Beast, for example, the Disney classic. I would call that a family movie. People of all ages can watch that. It's not just for kids. Heck, I would rather watch that than the live action for sure. Although, to be fair, I will say the live action is not so bad. It's just I know a lot of people wouldn't really enjoy it because of, what's her name? Emma Watson and her point of view. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. But I don't give a darn poop about her point of view of reality, whatever. That's her opinion. Anyways, and I called Beauty and the Beast a family movie because, come on. Do you think, if somebody were to call it a kids movie, do you think kids could stomach the fact that, I don't know, literally in the first few seconds, a few minutes into the movie, Gaston literally shoots a duck with a, what do you call that, a firearm? Well, you don't remember that scene? Come on, it was like in the first few minutes after everybody where Belle and everybody in the village were like singing. Like literally singing and taunting about Belle, how she's the odd one out. Like that's another thing also. I'm sure that's not going to encourage bullies to, tell, oh yeah, look at that guy, that kid, he's so weird because he's different. He's reading a book. Which is what a lot of people in the song literally was like judging Belle. A woman who's different. Even Gaston, my favorite villain, even he was like judging Belle. How can you read this? There's no pictures. Is it safe to assume Gaston has ever done any education? I mean, I heard at least in the live action movie, he was considered like a war hero. Hence the gun, I guess. Anyways, another case of what makes Beauty and the Beast another family movie, that it should not be considered as a kid. Beast got stabbed, okay? Oh, and then Gaston falls to his death with the most amusing scream ever. and then Beast literally for a moment dies. He actually experienced death before being resurrected. You think kids are gonna stomach that as well? Or how about Finding Nemo, a classic Pixar movie, where the moment where as soon as Marlin and Nemo are reunited, suddenly there's a giant fish net. And you know how it's a fisherman's job to catch all the fish. It's for the tuna. But then they capture Dory. But just think about it for a moment. If Nemo did not convince all the fishes to, keep swimming downwards, all those fishes would have been, well, definitely be served on a hot plate or a cold plate, whichever one you prefer. And also, besides that fact, literally kidnapping. Also, sharks. I mean, look, Bruce is a nice shark, but then we do get a scene of blood, when Dory gets a nosebleed. And yeah, trust me, seeing how the moment when Bruce gets a good sniff of Dory's blood, and how you see Bruce's eyes, like, what's the word? Dialect? Like the pupils grow big. That's dangerous, man. That's how you see a how you see a shark go full on predator mode. You think you think that looks very kid friendly? So I say, yeah, I think that's already enough evidence. So I'd say those movies are considered family friendly, or a family movie, not family friendly. Something that people of all ages can watch. So then what then can be identified as a kid's movie? All I can think about is all the Nick Jr. shows like Blue's Clues, Dora the Explorer, Teletubbies, Thomas the Tank Engine. Although I'm not sure about Thomas because, well, as an adult looking at my favorite all-time stop-motion locomotive show, that there is some dark political moments of the show. Like when a train no longer becomes useful, they get stuck in a shed to die and dry out. There's even a scene where, literally, an episode where, what was it? There's a possessive boulder. Like, people thought it was just a natural boulder rolling and chasing, but somehow it can roll upwards on a hill. And then the episode ends where they all are under the suspicion that the rock is actually possessed, like supernatural thing, and then the rock actually has a face. So I don't know if that could be a kid's show. Maybe just family movie, family show. This is what me as an adult now sees what I thought would be a kid's show. Turns out there's like some dark, deep depths, lore stuff happening there. Oh, excuse me. But that's enough of me. Excuse me, it's almost about to be 10:30. So let's see. Anything happening this week? Well, we have the 1st of July, which is Canada Day. The 4th of July on a Friday. 4th of July, I do know Warriors Abyss is getting an update where they're gonna include 4 new characters for free, by the way. The only thing you pay for is just legacy costumes. Plus, they're gonna make a lot of balance adjustments, fixes. Koei Tecmo just posted like the list of nerfs and buffs. Although I think most of them are just buffs. So yeah, the new characters, are from Ninja Gaiden Black. So we have the continuation of the Year of the Ninja. So we have Hayabusa, Ryu Hayabusa, Ayane, Rachel, and Momiji. And once again, why no Kazumi? Kazumi is more of a Dead or Alive character. Like the game Dead or Alive. So if you ever see, if the next future updates happens to bring some Dead or Alive characters, aside of Kazumi, I'm gonna say it right now, they're gonna include, what's their faces? The dynamic duo Mari Rose and Honoka. Yeah, I know. The pink hair, big boop young lady. Not a teenager, she's actually of age, 18 plus. But yeah, I'm just pointing it out there. I'm pretty sure that's gonna happen. They were playable in a warrior style game, so I wouldn't be surprised. That's happening in the 4th of July. Honkai is getting their update tomorrow. And yeah, for all the Hoyoverse games, Genshin, ZZZ, don't forget to check out the in-game store. Use your Stardust, Star Glitters, whatever, to get some Acquaint Fates, Intertwine Fates. 5 only for each. What else? What else? Steam Summer Sale is still going, I think until July 10th, if I'm not mistaken. So if you haven't checked out any PC games, or yeah, you can check out the Steam sales and see what's on the bargain there. What are you buying? What are you selling? Let me quickly check. Is there a side of Donkey Kong Bonanza? Game release. I spelled 2016. We are not in 2016 yet. Oh, I wish. I'm sure a lot of people wish because of GTA. Game developers and publishers should, if they have the gall to actually release a game in that month. Like, I know May 26th is like the end of May, but actually, no, that's even worse because at the end of May and June, any game company that dares to release a game in between those months, between May and June, they're in for a bad time. Because just imagine how many units, how many people are going to play GTA 6. Also, I can imagine a lot of people will be like, yeah, sorry, sir. I'm calling. I'm sick. I can't come into work. I have a nasty cold. Yes, I know I was fine. I was completely fine yesterday, but it just came so suddenly. Yeah, well, let's see. There's a bunch of EA games, EA Sports. Patapon 1+2 replay. Huh. I didn't, for the longest time, I thought that was a Sony game because that was a PSP exclusive. But no, it turns out Bandai Namco, it's their game. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3-4. Oh, right. Get ready to skate around as Doom Guy. Doom Slayer. He's gonna slay the competition by doing some shredding. But not the kind of shredding he wishes he wants to do. Destiny 2 is still going? The Edge of Fate. Another expansion. Huh. And that's coming out 2 days after... No. 2 days before Bonanza. There's a random game called He Is Coming. Who's coming? Killing Floor 3. I've only known Killing Zone for just being like one of those zombie wave-based zombie games, but it's very intense. I know that. Mario Party Jamboree Switch 2 edition. I have no idea what that is. Wait a minute, hang on. Oh no, there's like another game like Patapon. Oh, from the creator of Patapon. What's it called? Ratatan? Yeah. I think I saw there was a demo of that on the Steam. And no, it's a PC exclusive. There's a Wild Hearts S, the re-release variation of Koei Tecmo's Monster Hunter game, Wild Hearts. Yeah. But this one, the S is for the Switch 2. Grounded 2, okay. Oh, and Ninja Gaiden Ragebound. But that's July 29. Cool. Alright, looks like next month we're getting our first Ninja Gaiden game. And then sometime in October 25th, right? That's when Ninja Gaiden 4 comes out. And then in March of next year, Team Ninja releases another game, Neo 3. Team Ninja on a roll. But to be fair, the 2D game Ninja Gaiden Ragebound is not made by them. It's made by the folks who did Blasphemous. Basically the 2D Dark Souls game. Which I did hear the first two are really great. Never played it myself though, but I have played the demo for Ninja Gaiden Ragebound. And I definitely, with confidence, say they cooked. They cooked some delicious meat buns. Because yeah, the controls are very fluid. There is like some platforming here and there. And definitely speedrun material. So, yeah. I would recommend it for sure. Let's see. Anything else? Any other shout-outs out there? Yeah, definitely at some point what I should do is I was thinking of doing a consistent consistent as in like not day by day stream, but a consistent playthrough of a game. I'm gonna have to look back on my back catalog of games or replay a game I haven't played in a while, but I mean, yeah, potato, same thing. Want to dedicate a stream to a game where I can play through it. Well, I would do Donkey Kong Bonanza if I had a Switch 2. Here's a Switch, and this is where I would put a Switch 2. If I had one. I don't know. I'm having that sense of deja vu of I haven't bought a new game in a while. If I had a Switch 2, I would definitely go back and play Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes because I still haven't. I have completed. I believe I completed all 3 paths, including getting the, including the choice of having Byleth join. The only playthrough I haven't done yet is killing Byleth. And yeah, apparently it is a must because otherwise I'm going to be like one level short-handed. Yeah, apparently there's like one level that unlocks when you kill Byleth. But you know what that means? That means, right, as of now, I think I'm in the middle of a playthrough where I spared Byleth, but I have to complete the rest. That means I have to do another New Game Plus, beat that one, kill Byleth, beat that one, and then do another one where I can just do free mode. I don't know why they don't have a dedicated free mode. They only enforce that by the time you have to like do a new playthrough. I'd rather have a playthrough where a file where I have Byleth alive. I don't want to kill Byleth. Especially I chosen the female variation. Okay, that's a ridiculous price. Anyways. But yeah, I'm gonna have to look back and see what I can do. What game can I do to replay or start which back catalog of game I haven't started, but I should start, and then complete it from start to finish. I'll have to look at that. Yeah. Okie dokie. So with that, I will then see you guys in the next live stream. You folks have a good day and a good night. See you, folks.